Still wasting space to grow lettuce? Try this instead. If you've been growing lettuce the traditional way, wide rows, lots of ground space, and frequent replanting, let me gently say this as a fellow gardener, you're working harder than you need to. At Root-Shaven Grounds, we're all about growing smarter, not bigger. And today I want to show you a better way to grow lettuce that saves space, boosts harvests, and keeps your garden productive all season long. This isn't about fancy tech or expensive systems. It's about understanding how lettuce actually grows and using that knowledge to your advantage. Once you try this method, you'll never look at lettuce beds the same way again. Why traditional lettuce growing wastes so much space? Most gardeners grow lettuce like they were taught years ago. Neat rows, wide spacing, harvest once, then pull everything out. The problem is that lettuce doesn't behave like crops that need elbow room. It has shallow roots, grows fast, and thrives when managed correctly. When you dedicate large patches of soil to full-size lettuce heads, most of that space sits unused for weeks. You're waiting for maturity, while sunlight, soil nutrients, and moisture go underutilized. In small gardens especially, that's a big loss. Even in larger gardens, it's inefficient. The real issue isn't lettuce itself, it's the way we grow it. The game changer is high-density cut-and-come-again growing. Instead of growing lettuce for one big harvest, grow it for many small harvests. The cut-and-come-again method allows you to harvest continuously from the same plants for weeks, sometimes months, without replanting. Here's the mindset shift. You're no longer growing lettuce heads, you're growing leaf factories. You sow seeds closer together, let the plants grow just enough to produce healthy leaves, then harvest the outer growth while the center keeps producing. The plants stay productive, the soil stays covered, and your space works overtime. This single change can triple or even quadruple the amount of lettuce you harvest from the same area. How to set up a space-saving lettuce bed. Start by choosing a shallow but fertile bed. Lettuce doesn't need deep soil, but it does need rich, moisture-retentive growing medium. Compost-heavy soil is ideal. If your soil dries out quickly, add well-rotted organic matter to help hold moisture. So, instead of rows, think in blocks. Just broadcast your seeds evenly across the surface, aiming for close but not overcrowded spacing. You want the seedlings to form a living carpet, not a tangled mess. Once they sprout, thin lightly if needed, but don't overdo it. Lettuce really likes company. Water gently and consistently. Even moisture is honestly the secret to tender leaves. Stress from drying out causes bitterness, and that's one thing no gardener wants. Many gardeners worry that frequent harvesting weakens plants. But with lettuce, it's actually the opposite. When you harvest outer leaves correctly, the plant responds by producing more growth from the center. It's kind of a survival response, and we get to benefit from it. So the key is never cutting the growing point. Harvest leaves from the outside, leaving the heart intact. Use clean scissors, or, just your fingers, and harvest when leaves are young and tender. Younger leaves are sweeter, softer, and they regrow a lot faster. This method keeps lettuce productive longer and actually delays bolting, especially when the weather gets warm. If you really want to stop wasting space, take lettuce off the ground altogether. Lettuce thrives in containers, trays, and even vertical setups. Because the roots are shallow, you can grow lettuce in places where most crops just wouldn't survive. Shallow crates, reused plastic containers, grow bags, or wall-mounted planters all work beautifully. Even a single vertical frame with stacked trays can produce enough lettuce for a household. At Root-Shaven Grounds, we love showing how overlooked spaces, balconies, walkways, edges of garden beds can become productive green zones. Lettuce doesn't demand much. Give it light, moisture, and nutrients, and it will reward you generously. High-density growing means nutrients get used up faster, so feeding becomes important. You don't need chemical fertilizers. In fact, lettuce responds best to gentle organic feeding. Compost tea, diluted liquid manure, or fermented plant extracts applied every 1 to 2 weeks will, keep leaves lush and green. It's important to avoid heavy nitrogen doses all at once. Slow, steady feeding really produces better texture and flavor. Mulching lightly around the bed also helps regulate moisture and keeps roots cool, especially in those warmer climates. One reason many gardeners struggle with lettuce is heat. Lettuce hates extreme temperatures, but that doesn't mean you should give up on it. Dense planting helps shade the soil, keeping roots cooler. Partial shade during the hottest part of the day makes a huge difference. Even a simple shade cloth or growing lettuce under taller crops can honestly extend your harvest window. Choosing loose-leaf varieties instead of head lettuce also helps. Loose-leaf types recover faster after harvesting, and honestly, they're just more forgiving when conditions aren't perfect. Why this method is perfect for beginners and pros alike. If you're new to gardening, this approach removes a lot of pressure. You don't have to wait weeks for a perfect harvest. You can start picking early, learn as you go, and enjoy some quick wins along the way. For experienced gardeners, it's about efficiency and abundance. When space is limited or productivity really matters, growing lettuce this way just makes sense. You get more food, less waste, and, healthier soil too. It also fits beautifully into regenerative gardening. Continuous ground cover protects soil life, reduces evaporation, and supports beneficial microbes. There's something powerful about stepping into your garden and harvesting just what you need for a meal. No excess, no waste, no store-bought greens that wilt in the fridge. This method turns lettuce into a reliable, everyday crop instead of a one-time event. It really aligns perfectly with the Root Shaven Grounds philosophy: practical knowledge, real results, and gardens that work with nature, not against it. If you've been dedicating large chunks of your garden to lettuce and only getting one harvest, it's time to rethink your approach. High-density, cut-and-come-again growing isn't just a trick. It's a smarter system that respects your space, time, and soil. Try it once, and you'll see the difference almost immediately. If this article helped you see lettuce in a new way, subscribe to Root Shaven Grounds on YouTube for more practical, space-saving gardening insights. Share this with a fellow gardener who's still wasting precious garden space, and let's keep growing smarter together.